Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. So in this video we will learn about IntelliJ shortcuts or IntelliJ file shortcuts and how we can use in day-to-day life and working with IntelliJ. So let's start. So one of the shortcuts that we use will be to open or to search for any class file. So suppose I wanted to open any class file but I do not remember the exact path or package structure, or where I have kept that class file. So what I can do is I can use this shortcut. So the shortcut for Mac is Command O, and in Windows the shortcut is Command N. So suppose I just name the class file, or I would just say I know the class name, so I can just type that class name. Suppose my class name is API error, and I just type the starting characters of that class name. Then the IntelliJ file panel will automatically search for those class names that are starting from API. So it will be showing us the search results where all those classes having the name starting from API. But what if I don't even know the class name completely? I just know the one or two characters, or I would say, as you know, the class naming in Java, we usually set up using camel cases. So if you can see on my screen, I have class REST exception handler, and the class naming is in camel case, rest R is in caps, exception E is in caps. So if I wanted to just search, or I would say I just type RE, then basically it will search for all those classes that has a name starting with R, and in between there is a letter, or I would say camel case E. So I can see I can toggle on all these search result, and I can open the class which I wanted to see. So these all files are basically contains in my project or in my package that I have created. But what if I wanted to open a class and just wanted to see the implementation of some of the methods or some of the documentation what those classes have outside of my project, be it in Java package or any jar or in Spring jars. So to open those files we can also do so. So we just need to use this shortcut, and suppose I wanted to see the how thread pool basically works internally. So I will be opening one of the interfaces executors. So I'm just going to type the name executor, and all those file starting name with executor, all those classes will be shown up in this search result. So I'll be opening one of the class executor.java, the interface, and I can see its documentation. I can see the method it contains in Java 17. Okay, so moving forward, and that's up for the class names, but what class files. But what if we wanted to search for any database related file, be it SQL files or be it .md files? We can also do so. So basically the command for that is Command Shift O in Mac, and in Windows Command Shift N. So what if I wanted to search for any SQL file, but I basically don't even know the name of that file? So we can just type in *.sql, and we'll be presenting with the search result where all those SQL files basically that contains in our project will be shown up. So as of now I do not have any SQL file contains up in my project, but there are some SQL files coming up from the different jars or dependencies that I have imported in my Spring project. So you can open any of those SQL file and just see the procedures or table scripts or insert commands, and you can just view those. Okay, so these are all related to class and class coming up from different packages and dependencies. But what if I wanted to search up for a method? So for that the command is, we just need to press the shift button 2 times immediately. So it will open up a panel where we can search up for the method name. So suppose I wanted to search up this method, build response entity. I'll be just again clicking on that shift button, and I'll be just typing build response entity. So what it will do, it will just search for that method in all of the classes that contains this method. So it will open that class and we can now see this method. Okay, that has been related to classes, method, SQL file, database file. But what if I don't even know the class name or don't even know the method name? I just know some of the logic that I have written inside that class. Suppose I have just written this keyword invalid null user. So the best, I would say, the use of IntelliJ, or the most used keyword I basically use in my day-to-day life while developing some codes is this shortcut. So the shortcut is Command Shift F, where basically I'll just type in some of the keyword or just type in some of the variable name that I usually remember I have written up in any of my classes. So I can just toggle in between all those classes where I have just written in, and I can just search, okay, got it, I have just written this in by REST exception handler, and I'll be just presented to that class, and I can just go through that class and view what I have done. So this command Shift F in Mac and Control Shift F in Windows is the most useful command I have used. Okay, so moving forward, there is one more command you can use in your day-to-day life while working with the files. So suppose I wanted to view my recent files. Okay, so what recent files I have opened. So rather than going and scrolling through these project panel, we can just press Command E in Mac and Control E in Windows to view up the recent file. So it will basically presents up with a list what all recent files we have opened. So you can see I have just now opened REST exception handler. Before that I have opened a SQL file. Before that I have opened the executor.java file. So we can open using Command E to showcase the recent edited files. Okay, so moving ahead, so I'm going to press Command 1 to jump in the project panel. The panels I have on my last video, I have shown you how we can jump into different panels, be it project panel, structure panel, build any file, terminal, and so on. And we can toggle in between these project. So what if I wanted to create a exception class? I can do so using command N in Mac and Control N in Window, and I can just create this Java class. Suppose I wanted to create a custom exception. I'll be naming it as user not found exception. So I can create this class and I can just type in my exception, and I can just use this exception class in my any of the controller or in my service method. So using these shortcuts we can go through these files and will be basically helpful, quicken up pace while developing or while doing something. So that's it for today. Thank you guys.